Okay, here we are, a day in the life, you and me. Now I just got done walking, and I have three walking dates with my friends this week, so I'm pretty proud of that. So I'll get my steps in. I have another one on Friday with my friend Beth, so I'm excited about that. And you start to forget how long people have been in your friends. And in my timeline, up came a picture I took of her puppy. And I sent it to her this morning, and I'm like, that was 7 years ago. So much has happened. And then she sends me a picture of her grandkids, who are now 3. And I went, yeah, so much. So today, I have a couple of things. One is I'm processing a statement that someone said to me that I found really important to me, that shows my growth, important to how people move through prosperity mindset, and just how sinister it feels to constantly feel in lack. And this person is someone who I've known a long time, who has constantly been struggling with their mindset. And it is about attachment. Like I've brought up what the dilemma is for them, and from just, and they also do Buddhist teaching and other things. So these were like, hey, these are some things in your own belief system that may help you in this time. And one of them is attachment. And this person is attached to the world not costing money. And so I just finally made it to that part of their list of, no, we're not going to do that. And one of the things that, and so they had to, so what they said very flippantly, which wasn't about me, but it was about me, what they said very flippantly was, well, I found a place to get your services for free, and so I'm not going to do that anymore. And I went, okay, well, I'm glad you got your needs met. And I just went, oh, wow. And what the lesson is, is that person has gone through all of their adult life trying to stay attached to an idea that they don't like things that cost money, but they want all of the things that money buys. So you cannot be in two energetic spaces. So she wants a big house, she wants this thing, and they are constantly making decisions that impoverish them, because they and yet say that this is winning. So they make their own bread. This is winning. Okay, but bread at a bread maker isn't that much less. So if you like to make bread, that's one thing, right? That is your truth. That is where you are working from. But making bread because you don't want to pay someone else to make your bread, and all of these other things and kind of whatever, okay, that's a very different piece, right? So when this person was making this decision, one of the things that they really anguish over is how to not pay full price for anything, how to not buy anything new, how to whatever, because they can't afford it. And that part of constantly feeling crunched, they now have fed their children for breakfast every morning that there isn't enough. And so she's wondering why they're having anxiety problems and why they are, struggling for so many things, that she won't go and pay money for movies or other things. And this person makes 6 figures. I mean, they have money. And this person absolutely makes 6 figures with a 1 and could easily make 6 figures with a 2 if they changed a few things. So one of the things that is really illustrated for me is attachment to a framework. And this is where prosperity mindset really kind of nibbles at you, because it's going to question your framework. And dismantling a framework is a lot harder than just changing a habit. So when you are thinking about all of the work that you're doing on prosperity mindset, one of the things that I don't say enough, that this story illustrated to me, was how absolutely imperative it is to work on the framework. And we've talked a lot about values and causal chains, but the framework is really that right, what the rest of your car is built on. The framework is often rugged, deep, sturdy, has wheels, and absorbs everything else. So if you have a terrible frame on a car, it ain't gonna run. It's gonna hold still. And what do we call that in real life? We call that a rut. So if your framework constantly has you in a rut, it's because, right, it can't put up with the real world around it. So sometimes when I see people in a rut, I go, oh, okay, well, what is it in their framework that has them shook? And when you're shook, you can't do anything. You can't move. You feel stuck. And you have to go, okay, well, can we put different kinds of things on that framework? What are you willing to put in at the base, at the very bottom, at the foundation, right? We call this foundation. But most people don't actually know what's in their framework. For some people, that is a religious guide, that many people believe that their whole world is being run by something out here, and that they don't have any control over it. And while that is true, what it does do is it says, I do not have power. And one of the things that I look at for people is just this very simple exercise that I go, okay, who has power over you? And when someone, whatever that is, who has power over you? And then I go, well, what is their power? And what is the power that relieves you of, right? Not just a role, but, right, who has power over you? And what does that relieve you of? And I give them a very simple item, right? If you are receiving a paycheck, the person that has power over you is the United States government, because they're going to take their taxes out and their Medicare payment before you do. Now, if that bothers you, you may want to do something about that, right? But no one says, oh, I don't want a paycheck anymore. Okay, well, what are the other things you can do? If that's something that you have no control over, question it, right? What control do you have? Well, there are a lot of things that can change that. The amount of taxes you pay is also a benefit, right? That taxes serve a purpose. Taxes do a lot of things, especially at the state level and at the city level and at the county level. So, what is it? But a lot of times people will give me this framework part of victim, or of someone who's had a terrible past, or addiction is one that comes up a lot. So when you're looking at your framework, you will want to look at, what are those things? What has power over you? And sometimes it's just dumb stuff. Sugar. Sometimes it is not enough time. And so you start to pay attention to, what is it? How many times do you give over to that item in a day? How many times do you kind of cross your little, what, as my mother calls it, furrow your brow, right? I have a furrowed brow a lot. How many times did it cause you to do that? And do you want to keep that in your life? And sometimes when we talk about mindset, or really try to kind of get into the nuts and bolts of how does it work and how am I going to improve my thoughts, we often get stuck in beliefs that have a contradiction. And those beliefs that have a contradiction are exactly why your lover, your best friend, the thing you should make out with every day is discernment. What does that mean? If this, then this. If this, then this, right? And it will also start to bring up other things. So when you start to get into the work of the pixel, of really looking at that one dot that you magnify from and looking at how complex that one dot is, you go, ooh, wow, that really shines a totally different flame to my life. And sometimes that flame is something you want to just ignite and set everything on fire. And sometimes that flame is really dangerous to all of the new ways of thoughts. This is why everyone just gets sick when they think about giving up their addiction. That they will do lots of things in a reactive way because it's being challenged. And they will feel like they are dying. And they will feel like they are dying. And that is, right, why nobody likes to challenge the foundation. Nobody likes to challenge the foundation. Because if we screw with that, everything is broken. I have to rethink how I see the world. So, kind of closing it up, this person who was a friend and who I still appreciate them. I'm not mad at them. My feelings were hurt because they were careless in the way that they flippantly said something, but that was a reaction to them. That was their life. They are struggling in their mindset. So what can I do? Well, I'm going to give them grace, but I'm going to think about why is that failing? Now, this person has had, I don't know, over 200 hours of one-on-one training. And each time we go, you might want to think about that. And have they made improvements in things? Sure. But the fact is that because they are unwilling to change that foundational piece, they will never move forward. They will never do the things that they want to have happen. And the problem with that is you are a being that is here to learn new stuff every day. Even if you are 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, you are learning new stuff every day. And that new stuff, you're going to filter. And if that old foundation is filled with shame and blame and argumentation and all of the things, you will augment your reality to fit that. And that, my friends, is where it gets very crummy, very not fun. So, I am back home, because I'm going to do calls today. And yeah, there it is. So that's the life of Mickey today. Out on a walk, thinking about my stuff, and now I got to go to work. All right, see ya.